And go. Hi guys, welcome back to another Three Amigos video. It's been a while since we've done a podcast, Junio, but I think this one is definitely worth it.
Definitely.
So we are here today to talk about Hasselblad's new medium format camera, the X2D 100C. So before we get into it, Junio, why don't you hit us with some of the details of this camera?
Well, I mean, how should we break it down? It's quite a special one, right? So I think we started with the most popular feature, which is the LiDAR. I think the LiDAR, it does allow for a lot more versatility. So the focus is obviously able to track, which is something that I really wanted for the new X2D. So I think this is the main feature that I was looking forward to, and they finally came out with it. Not sure if you noticed that when you use a Nano7X or the X2D.
Yeah, so I mean, speaking from our experience, we've both used both the X2D as well as the 907. And as amazing as the Hasselblad sensor is in terms of the color, and we're completely blown away by the straight out of color camera photos. But one of the biggest caveats of that camera was the continuous autofocus. And I think that was sort of the biggest Achilles heel of that camera, because that camera, the X2D, now that being said, the X2D was almost revolutionary when it first came out in terms of medium format for Hasselblad. Obviously, Fujifilm was in the market, other camera brands were available, and Hasselblad had always been a strong contender in the medium format sort of digital camera. But a lot of the technology that they had before the X2D was pretty out of date, getting pretty old, very expensive, prone to a lot of electronics and mechanical problems. So X2D came out, completely revolutionized the medium format field. As we know, Hasselblad makes amazing medium format lenses. And then the only issue which you experience all these 1 or 2 years is the autofocusing, right? So I think that's been sort of quite revolutionary in terms of what we've been able to do.
Yeah, when I bought the 907, I actually didn't know that there was no continuous autofocus. It was something that I expected to have, like from the Canon, like Fuji, for example. Yeah, it was quite surprising not to have the continuous autofocus.
Now, we have read some sort of reviews or some also some releases from some users who had ability to sort of test the camera, and based on what we've heard is that autofocusing hits 9 out of 10 now compared to before.
Right.
So I think it's definitely a major improvement in terms of its autofocusing compared to before. Now, obviously, I don't think you can expect to catch like fast moving sports in terms of like, baseball or Formula One car driving, that kind of sports action photography. But I think for more everyday use, for catching people or kids, or maybe pets, I think it is becoming much better compared to before.
Yeah, 100%. I think especially using for my daughter, I'm looking forward to actually be able to track her. It's going to be not as challenging as it was before. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I think by the time this video gets out, X2D Mark II should be out, and hopefully I should have pre-ordered by then as well, because I'm 100% getting it. I'm not sure about you, Stanton, like what you're thinking about, but yeah, I'm putting my foot down on this one.
Now, for someone who's tested so much gear yourself in different systems, you've tested Fuji, Canon, obviously, and all the different brands, and I must say the photos that come out of the camera from the Fuji is amazing. And I think if I was to invest into a new camera system at some point, being very heavily invested in Leica and Fuji at the moment, I think Hasselblad would definitely be the way forward.
Yeah, I think especially with the new lens, right? The new lens is quite promising as well. I think for travel, that zoom lens is going to be amazing. The 35 to 100. So I really think it's going to be a long queue for that lens actually. So hopefully eventually I can get my hands on one.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention that in terms of the camera price, it's actually cheaper than the first generation by a couple $100.
Yep.
So how they managed to make something newer, but lighter, I think, with a better and lighter screen, as well as the ability to sort of have HDR raw processing directly from an iOS device. All these things, I think, add together, make it a very, very appealing. Very appealing. And what was your experience in terms of using the Hasselblad? I mean, you've used the 907 and X2D over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Change your approach to photography or what you can see?
I would say it slowed down quite a bit, but in a good way. Look, I with Canon, the autofocus, legit, it tracks it. You don't really have to worry about it. And with the Hasselblad, it's much different, right? So when you shoot with the Hasselblad, you slow down. But that's the nice thing. You can think about the composition, what you want to pair with in terms of the lens. 55, I've been shooting it very much, attached to the camera all the time. And the 90V, it's a very special lens as well. But I think overall, the Hasselblad has changed my perspective in photography. I use it much more than my Canon. Like my recent trip to Iceland, I just used the Hasselblad maybe 90%. Yeah. So
and
yeah,
and I think one of the other cool functions, I think what amazed me of the original X2D camera was also the inbuilt sort of stabilization.
right.
I mean, at that time it was boasting 7 stops, I believe. And although from what I've read and what I've heard from people, realistically, I think it was around 5 stops.
Yep.
But also on the new on the new system, they're boasting 10 stops. So whether or not it can actually really shoot 10 stops, I'm expecting maybe 7 or 8. Usually you give it a bit of a discount, I think, when we're talking about in IBIS. But revolutionary camera.
Yeah, that's something that I always miss about the 907X stabilization, right? So that's something that I didn't have, which I have in Canon, but it never bothered me too much. I always shot in fast shutter speeds, so it didn't bother me that much. But now having it, I want to see what kind of pictures I'm actually going to be able to take with the Hasselblad, which, with the Canon, I do long exposure shots because of the IBIS. So Hasselblad X2D was something that I was already tempted to buy, like the Mark I, because of the IBIS. The 907X, I'm very happy with, but the X2D was always itching a little bit. So this time, if the rumors are true, then yeah, I'm definitely pre-ordering it.
So what about video? Now I know in some people's dissection of the previous X2D, there was no video, although they found certain features on the camera body which suggested that it might have been for video. And so in the X2D too, no video.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts?
Well, I think if they made it with the video, it would put my Canon aside. Like, I wouldn't need my Canon anymore. But the fact is, medium format lens, I know Fuji does video, but it does have a lot of the rolling shutter, which I think it would be a problem also with the Hasselblad. So I think maybe they don't want to release something that knows that people are going to complain about. X1D, people complain about that, right? It had video, but people didn't really like it, so they remove it. But I think maybe X3D will have video. Fingers crossed, technology improves by then. But I think it's just a limitation of a larger sensor, the processing power, and the heat that you need to handle as well. So yeah, maybe in the future, because I think if you look at the 90V, even that lens has a declick aperture, so you can actually you really use it for video because of that feature. But obviously the X2D Mark II doesn't, according to the rumors, have video. So I mean, maybe it can surprise us, but unlikely, I think, for this Mark II.
Now, so my big question for you is, will you sell, if the rumors are true, will you sell your 907 to get the XTD2?
I'm sad to say that most likely yes. That camera has a lot of memories, especially because I bought it to capture my daughter, and it nailed its purpose. I captured really beautiful pictures to my perspective that I'm really happy with, and I otherwise wouldn't have captured with the Canon. I'm pretty sure of that. So I'm sad to say that yes, I will let it go. Maybe in the future I'll buy it back again. But as of now, I think it's time to change to the X2D. Assuming it has continuous tracking. If it doesn't, yeah, it'll be a bit of a tricky decision because it doesn't have much more than the 907X. Maybe the additional image stabilization in terms of stops. But yeah, other than that, if no LiDAR, no continuous autofocus, I'll probably stay with my 907X.
So besides the autofocusing, was there anything else about the Hasselblad? It can be the camera, like the X2D or the 907, or about the system or the workflow, which you felt that was still lacking in their system.
I think maybe for newcomers, shooting with the Hasselblad, there's the additional workflow that people don't expect, which is the Focus app, right? So for some people, they think that might be a bit of an additional step, which slows down the workflow. But I do think that is a very cool app to actually use after you kind of understand what it's actually trying to do. And I think if you just put it into Lightroom, you lose a lot of the features, which is like recovery of the highlights or pullback of the shadows. So these are things that, because you're using a professional software like Focus app, it gives you that, right? Because it is able to extract more from the picture than Lightroom can. So I think that's maybe something that they could improve in some way. But I do think there's more of a limitation of Lightroom than the Hasselblad itself. So yeah.
Yeah. So overall, very, very exciting. I think the lens that they're offering as well, the 35 to 100, which basically is equivalent to 28 to 75-ish, sort of full frame equivalent. That's going to be an amazing lens. So, because I think one of the issues with the previous lineups was, obviously, you either had to carry many set focal ranges. And the cameras and the lenses being quite big and heavy themselves, it would be difficult to sort of carry all those on sort of one camera, one lens, do everything sort of setup.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing my headset like this, by the way, because I'm getting quite a lot of feedback, which makes it very hard to talk. But regardless, regarding the lenses, I do think the new lens is a game changer, especially for me for travel. I think that would be the lens that I bring. Similar to the Canon, I have the 24-105, the 2.8, and I just use that for travels. It's perfect. It's one lens, covers all the ranges. It's light enough to just be a single lens. Hasselblad lenses are actually much lighter than Canon, and that's something that I always appreciated. And if the 35 to 100 is going to be light enough, I think that could really change the game. So I don't have to bring multiple lens and just have a compact. In it has it as compact as it can be for travel.
Yeah, so I think the X2D, like, I mean, now Hasselblad has sort of changed their marketing approach in recent years. I think what you'll notice if you've seen a lot of the reviews for the X2D or 907 is that Hasselblad actually likes to give out cameras now to a lot of the big influencers.
Sadly, we didn't get one, but yep.
All right, remember to subscribe to the channel, guys. If you want to see us, have more hands-on reviews on this camera, then please leave us a good comment and a like and a subscribe.
Exactly.
But we are, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get lots of videos onto this channel. We'll get our hands on an XCD. We'll give our thoughts and reviews. and overall very, very excited for this release.
Yeah, I just want to add that if they do add LiDAR, I do think that this is a big play from DJI. I think the LiDAR, you see it already in the gimbals, the Ronins, obviously the drones. And I think this is more of what DJI is contributing to Hasselblad. I think X1D, Nano 7X, maybe DJI had some influence, but not as much as the X2D Mark II, if the LiDAR comes into fruition.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but it felt that after the acquisition of Hasselblad by DJI, they've really upped their game in terms of the technological advancements and in terms of the, they're really modernizing their equipment. Huge props to Hasselblad and DJI for this. Very, very excited to see how it changes the medium format landscape.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. And then let's see when we get one. And then, stay tuned for the hands-on video.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you have any questions, comments, any thoughts, please let us know down in the description below. We have lots of videos upcoming. Sorry, Jun and I have been very busy, so we actually have a lot of videos in the pipeline which we have to make. But lots of good stuff coming up. Stay tuned and stay subscribed. Yeah, we'll see you in our next video.
Sounds good. Yeah, see you in the next one.
See you.